The phone call came in the quiet pre-dawn hours, just a day before my critical heart surgery. I was already at St. Jude's Medical Center in Portland, Oregon, having arrived the night before, prepped and ready for the procedure that was meant to literally save my life. My wife, Eleanor, was supposed to be with me, offering comfort, but she'd claimed a last-minute emergency with her aging mother. The voice on the other end was not hers, but a stern administrative tone from the hospital's billing department. "Mr. Davies," the voice began, "I'm calling to confirm the cancellation of your procedure, scheduled for tomorrow, October 27th, 2024. My blood ran cold, far colder than the sterile hospital air. "Cancellation?" I rasped, my voice barely a whisper. "What are you talking about? I didn't cancel anything." The administrator's reply was clipped, direct. "Your wife, Eleanor Davies, authorized the cancellation and requested the full refund of the prepaid amount be transferred to an external account." She cited unforeseen personal expenses. My mind reeled. Eleanor, my wife of 30 years, had canceled my life-saving surgery. The prepaid amount was a significant portion of my life savings, specifically earmarked for this medical necessity. The silence on the line felt like a chasm opening beneath me. It wasn't just a cancellation. It was a cold, calculated abandonment, a direct threat to my very existence, orchestrated by the one person I trusted most. For 3 decades, I, a dedicated senior software architect, believed Eleanor and I had built an unshakable life together. In Portland, we'd navigated the complexities of raising our 2 children, now grown and independent, celebrated countless anniversaries, and meticulously planned a tranquil retirement. Our home in the Pearl District, our routines, our shared dreams of global travel and quiet evenings by the fire, they were the bedrock of my existence. We were past the empty nest stage, looking forward to the golden years, to enjoying the fruits of a lifetime's labor. My trust in Eleanor was absolute, forged through shared joys and weathered storms. Then the subtle shifts began, imperceptible at first. Eleanor's phone, once openly displayed, became a guarded extension of her hand, frequently clutched face down. Her spa days and charity meetings grew in frequency and length, accompanied by vague explanations and an unusual lack of detail upon her return. I dismissed them as harmless, attributing them to her renewed interest in social life post-kids, telling myself she deserved her freedom. But a nagging whisper of unease began to echo in my mind. The first real crack appeared when I found a stack of credit card statements she'd tried to conceal. They revealed lavish spending, designer clothes, expensive jewelry, and most alarming, a series of significant withdrawals from our joint retirement account, funds that had always been sacrosanct. When I gently questioned her, she dismissed it with a wave of her hand. "Just a little indulgence, dear. You work so hard, I deserve it." Her defensiveness was sharp, uncharacteristic. My gut tightened, but the full weight of betrayal only crushed me when a chance conversation with her sister, Brenda, provided a chilling clue. Brenda casually mentioned her upcoming lavish, luxury cruise around the Mediterranean, booked for her and their brother, Mark. Eleanor insisted on treating us. Brenda gushed, said it was a surprise gift, paid for upfront. So generous, my blood ran cold. The timing, the amount, it directly correlated with the large withdrawals I'd questioned. Eleanor hadn't just indulged herself. She was siphoning our meticulously saved retirement funds I needed for my life-saving surgery to finance her siblings' opulent vacation. The realization hit me with nauseating force. My wife, the woman who vowed to cherish me, was systematically dismantling our financial future, jeopardizing my very life for a grand, self-serving gesture to her family. My world, once solid, began to crumble beneath my feet, revealing a chasm. A financial betrayal I hadn't dared to imagine. The discovery, followed by Eleanor's callous cancellation of my critical surgery, hit me with a force that transcended mere emotional pain. It was a visceral, physical blow. The rage was immediate, a blinding inferno, quickly morphing into a cold, unnerving calm. I lay in that hospital bed, staring at the sterile ceiling, every thought consumed by the audacity of her deception and the immediate threat to my life. My heart, already compromised, hammered with a furious rhythm. Sleep became a forgotten luxury. My work, even in retirement, offered no solace. Friends called, their concern genuine, but I merely offered hollow assurances, unable to articulate the monstrous truth. Eleanor, meanwhile, remained utterly oblivious, or perhaps masterfully pretended to be, her occasional perfunctory calls laced with false concern for my recovery from a postponed surgery, but the broken man staring back from the hospital window's reflection eventually saw something else, a plan. This wasn't about shouting or public confrontation. It was about justice delivered with surgical precision. It was about protecting what little I had left and ensuring that her flagrant disregard for my life did not go unpunished. Eleanor hadn't just cheated me emotionally. She had committed an act of financial violence, systematically dismantling our retirement, jeopardizing my very survival, all to bankroll her brother Mark's lavish vacation. This was more than just infidelity. It was a calculated act of fraud, a chilling reminder of her true priorities. My resolve solidified. I needed to move before she could inflict further damage. I began gathering undeniable evidence, meticulously and with ruthless efficiency, even from my hospital bed. I called my longtime financial advisor, Mr. Peterson, a man I trusted implicitly. I explained the situation in hushed, urgent tones, focusing on the suspicious transfer of funds. He immediately initiated a forensic audit of all our joint accounts. Simultaneously, I contacted a tech-savvy nephew, Michael, a brilliant cybersecurity expert, asking him to discreetly examine Eleanor's digital footprint, emails, messages, transaction records. My aim was to pinpoint every fraudulent transfer, every hidden account, every single penny she had diverted for her and Mark's benefit. The discovery that she had diverted funds meant for my critical medical procedure for a luxury cruise. For her brother added a layer of profound cruelty that fueled my determination. The information that began to trickle in, then pour, was even more damning than I had anticipated. Mr. Peterson's audit revealed a systematic draining of our long-term investment accounts, meticulously timed withdrawals over the past 2 years, coinciding precisely with Mark's increasing financial struggles, and sudden, lavish expenditures. Michael's digital investigation uncovered damning email exchanges between Eleanor and Mark, detailing their plans for early retirement, financed by my unnecessary savings. They even joked about my old-fashioned reliance on traditional investments, oblivious to the fact that I had established an ironclad trust specifically for my genuine retirement and medical needs years ago. The depth of their callousness was staggering. They hadn't just taken money. They had scoffed at my future, my health, my very life. They saw me as a means to an end, a convenient ATM for their selfish desires. My revenge wouldn't be loud. It would be devastatingly silent, striking at the very core of what they valued most, their perceived financial security. Weeks later, the moment of reckoning arrived, not in a grand public spectacle I orchestrated, but within the sterile, hushed confines of a family meeting at my lawyer's office in downtown Portland. I had recovered sufficiently from a rescheduled, urgent surgery paid for by dipping into other previously undisclosed emergency funds to attend. Eleanor was there, accompanied by her brother, Mark, and her sister, Brenda. They all wore expressions of smug confidence, clearly believing I was a broken man, easily manipulated. Eleanor had even tried to play the role of the sympathetic, suffering wife, suggesting I was confused after surgery. The atmosphere was thick with their assumed superiority, their veiled contempt. My lawyer, Ms. Jenkins, a sharp and unyielding professional, began by calmly outlining the terms of the divorce. As she spoke, Eleanor and Mark exchanged knowing glances, a subtle smirk playing on Mark's lips, oblivious to the trap they were walking into. Then Ms. Jenkins shifted, her voice becoming crisper. And now, regarding the marital assets, particularly the retirement funds. She then unveiled the meticulously detailed forensic audit. She presented the precise dates, amounts, and destinations of every unauthorized transfer from our joint retirement accounts to Mark's various shell corporations and offshore accounts. She highlighted the exact sum that had been transferred the day before my initial surgery cancellation directly into an account used to pay for Brenda and Mark's moments before filled with their self-assured whispers, fell into a suffocating silence. Eleanor's face, initially pale with feigned concern, drained completely of color, then flushed a furious crimson. Mark's arrogant smirk vanished, replaced by a terrified, open-mouthed stare. Brenda, who had been quietly supporting her siblings, gasped audibly, clutching her chest. "Eleanor," Ms. Jenkins continued, her voice cold and precise, "your signature on the surgery cancellation form, citing unforeseen personal expenses, directly correlates with this transfer. This is not just marital asset dispute. It is documented financial fraud." Then came my turn. I looked directly at Eleanor, my voice steady, devoid of any raw emotion, infused only with cold, irrefutable truth. "You canceled my life-saving surgery." "Eleanor," I stated, each word a hammer blow, "to pay for your brother's vacation? You gambled with my life, with my future, for his pleasure." I then turned to Mark. "And you, Mark, willingly accepted stolen funds, knowing full well the source and the cost." The silence that followed was deafening. Eleanor recoiled as if slapped, her eyes wide with terror and dawning realization. Mark's face contorted with a mixture of rage and desperation. Brenda, her face streaked with tears, could only stare, the weight of her siblings' betrayal crushing her. "Eleanor and Mark," I concluded, my voice resonating with finality, "you sought to cancel my future, so I'm canceling yours." The impact of my words was undeniable, landing with crushing weight on their stunned silence, the immediate aftermath of that lawyer's office. Confrontation was a maelstrom of legal and personal repercussions. Eleanor, faced with irrefutable proof of financial fraud and the sheer malice of canceling my life-saving surgery, had no ground to stand on. The divorce proceedings, once contentious, became a swift, decisive affair in my favor. The court presented, with the detailed forensic audit and the chilling context, awarded me the vast majority of our marital assets, recognizing her criminal intent. Her reputation, once that of a respected community figure in Portland, was utterly annihilated. Friends and acquaintances, learning of her actions, recoiled in disgust. She lost her board positions, her social standing evaporated, and her public image was forever synonymous with cruelty and greed. Mark's fate was equally grim. The financial advisory firm he was so proud of, now exposed for its role in receiving fraudulent funds, launched its own internal investigation. The scandal of him accepting money diverted from his brother-in-law's surgery fund became a public spectacle. His license was revoked, his client base evaporated, and his career as a financial advisor was irrevocably ruined. He became a pariah in the industry, unable to secure any meaningful employment. The lavish luxury cruise he had just returned from, financed by my near-death experience, became a bitter, haunted memory, its cost now measured in the destruction of his livelihood and his future. The investment, that was supposed to secure their opulent future, the very funds stolen from my retirement, instead became the irrefutable evidence that sealed their mutual downfall. They tried to fight, to salvage some semblance of their former lives, but my evidence was a concrete wall against which their desperate pleas and flimsy excuses shattered. Their sibling bond, once seemingly unbreakable, shattered under the immense pressure of shared disgrace and escalating legal battles. The lavish lifestyle they had envisioned, built on my ruin, dissolved into a grim reality of recriminations. I heard through various channels that Eleanor and Mark blamed each other for their downfall, their relationship devolving into a toxic cycle of accusation and resentment. Their once solid alliance, founded on greed, collapsed into bitter fragments. They eventually estranged themselves from each other, both facing their individual ruins in different parts of Portland, their grand plans for wealth and a life of leisure replaced by the stark reality of financial struggle and profound isolation. Now, a year later, life has found a new resilient rhythm. My health, after the rescheduled surgery, is stable, a testament to the skilled medical team and my own determination. The emotional scars remain deep and indelible, a constant reminder of the profound betrayal. The bitter taste of deceit lingered for months, but with each passing day, it was gradually replaced by the quiet satisfaction of justice served. I retained my home in the Pearl District, a place I've now truly reclaimed. My retirement funds, meticulously restored and now entirely under my control, are secure, protected from any predatory hands. The weight of debt, the constant worry about my future, had lifted, replaced by a profound sense of liberation. I've begun taking those global trips Eleanor and I had planned, but this time, they are journeys of self-discovery and healing, a celebration of my own resilience. Each new culture, each new landscape, is a testament to my survival, to my ability to rebuild a life richer and more authentic than before. As for Eleanor and Mark, their struggles are a quiet testament to karma's cold, unrelenting grip. I hear snippets of their lives now and then. Eleanor, stripped of her social standing, living a diminished existence, her once proud demeanor replaced by a haunted, defeated look. Mark, unable to find work in any reputable financial advisor firm, reduced to transient, low-paying jobs. Their vacation, meant to be a symbol of their triumph, instead ignited a chain of events that cost them everything: their reputations, their careers, their financial stability, and even the twisted bond they had forged through deceit. Sometimes the most satisfying form of revenge isn't loud or violent. It's not about direct confrontation, but about watching karma settle the score, quietly and completely. It's about witnessing the ripple effect of injustice return to its source, about seeing the very mechanisms of manipulation and greed turn against those who wielded them. It's about the profound, undeniable truth that deceit, no matter how carefully orchestrated, inevitably unravels, leaving behind only the cold, stark reality of a life undone by one's own hands. And in that quiet unfolding, there is a profound sense of justice served, not by my hand, but by the relentless, impartial hand of destiny. So that's my story. The journey through profound betrayal, the fight for my life, and the long, cold reach of consequence. It's a narrative about trust, deceit, and the ultimate triumph of justice. Now, I turn to you. After hearing how my wife canceled my life-saving surgery for her brother's vacation, what do you think? Was my decision to cancel their retirement too harsh? Or was it the only justified path given their shocking deceit? Would you have handled this situation differently? Or perhaps sought another form of justice? Share your thoughts, your own experiences, and what you would have done in the comments below. Let's discuss the true meaning of consequences. If this story resonated with you, if it stirred something within you, please give this video a thumbs up. Your engagement means a lot. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more true stories of resilience, unexpected twists of fate, and the enduring power of justice. Make sure to hit that notification bell too, so you won't miss my next upload. Thank you for listening, for bearing witness to my journey.